From Tobacco Republic in Loomis, California, the Loomis Cigar Cartel presents Beyond the Humidor, a cigar podcast for the rest of us. Hey, we made it just in time for the choo-choo train to come passing by. Scott Robinson with you on another edition of Beyond the Humidor. Relaxing, and I am doing alcohol again, but I've got some coffee next to me. That'll be germane in the next 5 minutes or so. But let's just go around the house and see how everybody's doing. Greg, how are you?
Aside from having a wet ass from coffee spilling on it, I'm fine. How about you?
I'm great. I don't have a wet ass. And no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be good. I will not be the reason we get an E on this one. Lawrence, how are you?
I'm fabulous. We've had breakfast, got a nice cigar and some coffee. So I think it's going to be a good morning.
I think so too. I do too. Now, by the way, I have to say this on the air because I don't often give Greg compliments, but my compliments to the liquor wrangler here. He's got us here with a nice Glenlivet. What was that?
12 year.
12 year.
I don't. Let me jump in on that for a second.
Please,
Thank you for the compliment, but let me pass that on because one of my coworkers listens to the show and runs the liquor department, and he's like, "Hey, based on what you guys have done in the last few episodes I've listened to, Larry liking rum and Scott just liking to drink, and your Scotch tendencies are kind of fickle."
I see my reputation precedes me.
It does. He goes, "Hey, so I brought this in. It's a Caribbean rum reserve done in a rum cask, Glenlivet." And he goes, "I want you guys to try a bottle," and we did, and we like it. So thanks, Blake. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Blake.
Yep, it'll be a regular on the show until it's empty, at least.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I still got to make a run over to your store and pick one up. The price point is
quite fabulous.
Yeah, under $40 for a 12 year. That's pretty good.
And it's good Scotch.
Yeah, it is.
You have to go get your own, you say?
He got his delivered.
I'll be damned. Yeah, I got mine delivered yesterday.
The fuck? There's the E. Why was my alcohol not delivered?
Because you didn't ask for it.
And the hits just keep on coming.
Wow, man. Well, that's okay. As I say, you go through life sometimes, and sometimes you just got to say, it's okay.
All right. Hey, sitting over here to my right, chomping on the bit, is our guest for today.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Zach Sandvos of Yard Dog Coffee.
Welcome to the show, Zach.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Now, if you've listened to a few episodes, you've heard us talk about Yard Dog before. We've been drinking his product for quite a while now. And,
Yes, good stuff.
Introduced to that, and it's been a great experience. He's got some great coffees, and so we're going to talk a little coffee and cigars today.
Yep.
Well, let's hit the obvious elephant in the room question. I know this is like a sixth grade journalism question, but, with the myriad of hobbies to do, from scrapbooking to roasting coffee to bomb making, what got you into this in particular?
For me, what got me into coffee roasting was just I love coffee, first of all, and was a desire to produce a quality product. A lot of the coffee products we get in the stores are just mediocre, or they're what we drink to get by. And so I wanted to make something of quality that you would really enjoy, and you're not drinking it just for the caffeine. You're drinking it for the pure flavor and taste of it.
Okay.
Enjoyment, such as a good whiskey or a good cigar.
Absolutely. What are we drinking today?
This is the Ugandan coffee. And typically with the African type coffees, you get more fruit flavors and higher acidity levels. So if you think about those while you're drinking it, you'll kind of pick out different fruits, such as like boysenberries or blueberries. But you also get some back-end chocolate flavors too. That's with the darker the roast, the more chocolatey flavors come out with the roast.
Yeah, I think with more of and I know this isn't a word, so do not comment. More commercially, coffees are just really acidic, but you don't think fruits. You don't think fruity. It's just really acidic. shiny crystals from Folgers. And what did you cough out, Greg?
Nothing.
Yeah,
Not a thing. But we all know what I meant.
You banned. Oh,
and that's true. But it's typically with those commercial coffees such as Folgers and MJB and all those. They find the cheapest beans possible, and they're using the cheapest beans, and but it's what everybody has.
Well, it's
typically
it's
grown
what
up and
they
drank
what we've
and
gotten used
what we
to.
know.
Yeah.
So when you come out with something that's different, you're like, well, it's good, but it's not my Folgers. And so this is just trying to get people to change their mindset about.
So you're an uphill battle on quality
for sure.
over quantity kind of thing.
Wait, you really have people say it's good, but it's not Folgers?
What?
I have people. It's not
Wow.
it's not my Folgers, but
Wow.
it's good.
Not that we're bagging on Folgers, though.
Yes,
No,
we
no,
are.
no.
I mean,
Well,
hey,
but
it had its place once upon a time.
It's a comfort level thing. I mean,
Yeah.
people get used. Jesus, we got the camera monkey over there opening a Coke, and it sounded like he was, loading the missile in the silo.
I'm surprised the mic heard that.
I'm surprised it didn't. So, all right, back to the hand. One of the reasons now I think I've tried just about everything that you've roasted, unless you've put something new out here super recently.
So my most recent is a Costa Rica. I don't have any of that roasted right now, but I did bring some Colombian. I brought it back for each of you.
Oh, thank you.
So,
Outstanding.
that is going to be completely different than this Ugandan. It's going to be very smooth. There's very mild acidity. You're going to notice some really dark chocolate flavors with it. Sometimes, typically with the Colombians, you can actually get some tobacco type tastes. And
Well, and it's funny you say that because that's I had a little bit of Colombian left. One of the reasons I didn't grind that is, one, I didn't think I had enough to make a decent pot this morning, and two, after reading some of the stuff on the Ugandan, I wanted something, I thought, that with a little more acidity to kind of yin and yang between the cigar. Now, in the mornings, when I start out with a cigar and a coffee, I'm typically on a lighter cigar because I enjoy coffee. And when I'm having the two together, I still want to enjoy coffee with a sideline of cigar, if that makes sense. I want it to be coffee forward, not cigar forward. So I'm typically on a lighter cigar in the morning when I have coffee. Like today, I have an Oliva Reserva, they're Connecticut, Robusto, 5x50, Honduran and Nicaraguan long filler and binder. And so it's a very light, very easy cigar that I think complements a more acidic, stronger coffee very well.
I do the opposite. See, I go for the 1-2 punch. So, I like my coffee and a nice medium to full body cigar. Something that just really wake you up and just make you say, good morning.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
So it's kind of nice. Now, I did a little exception today because I actually want to taste the coffee, and I'm not, drinking commercially coffee. I've trademarked that word now. Thank you very much.
God. Let's see. We got can't pronounce Criollo. Thinks there's a planet called Honduran, and now commercially or commercery, whatever the hell you said. Hey. Sorry, I know you said not comment, but I had to swing that one.
It just
Go
keeps
ahead.
talking.
So let me tell you.
Anyway, wait.
Let me tell you about the cigars that Scott and I are smoking here, real quick. It's a new line here at Tobacco Republic for us. It's the Nat Sherman Metropolitan Host. It was actually a suggestion from Larry from Thursday night when we were here hanging out, and so far it's really good. This is a Churchill 50x7. It is a Ecuadorian Connecticut Claro shade wrapper. It is a Honduran binder and filler. According to the tasting notes, mild-bodied Honduran cigar with buttery smooth Ecuadorian Connecticut shade wrapper on top of a Honduran binder and filler. Host is offered the same premium taste and expert consistency expected from Nat Sherman. Second one I've had, so I don't know about that one.
Well, actually, I kind of parted ways with you there. Decided to do the Nat Sherman, the Metropolitan.
Oh, you changed it? Okay.
Yeah, the Metropolitan Connecticut, which is basically Ecuadorian Connecticut shade with binder and filler Dominican. So
now, I don't know if yours has the tasting notes on the bottom, but this one, I can agree with two of them, but not the third. It's cedar, almonds, and vanilla.
I hadn't even bothered looking at the tasting notes. I wanted to judge for myself. Mm-hmm. So this one has a rather, for lack of a better description, a sharp, kind of a sharp end to it, like a sharp taste. I'm trying to place it. Can't quite place it. The butteriness I don't really get. But it's still an enjoyable cigar. I'm still, going through it. I'm in the initial portion of it, so I'm not really capturing the tasting notes quite yet.
Well, and I don't know about you, but I notice it's not that, like Larry was suggesting, at least for me, it doesn't overpower the Ugandan. I can still taste the coffee.
That's exactly why I decided to do a Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal.
So,
all right, Zach, how long you been roasting now?
I've been roasting for, well, the business has been open for about a year now. And really, I'd say maybe a year and 6 months. It's still fairly new to me as far as the roasting.
So once you got started, you figured out, hey, this is it. I want to do this,
I
took off with it, huh?
I just had a very small roaster, and I was just bringing little bags into work, and we're all trying it out, and everybody seemed to take to it, and they liked it. So I was like, you know what? I think I can make a business of this. And
nice.
I have 3 years till I can retire from my current job, and so I was just looking for something that I would be able to do after I retire.
Yeah,
and
transition now.
transition,
nice. So, now it's available online.
It's available online. I mean, you can hit me up on Facebook and stuff, and I'll get it to you too. But we do have a website. It's www.yarddogcoffeeroasters.com.
Okay.
And you can order my products there.
Well, we'll put a link up.
It'll be available on our website.
On our website and our stuff too. So yeah, absolutely want to make it as available to people that are listening to this as possible because
it's great coffee.
Thank you.
Now, I've seen stuff come in, beans in the bags. That's like a 50 or 100 pound bag of beans, right?
It's 50 to you can get 150 pound bag. I've got a 150 pound bag sitting at home of the Ugandan, and typically I just order in like 50 pounds. It's a little easier to
manage.
And you can quality control it a little better, and it'll.
So, okay, and once again, not trying to sound like we're doing our sixth grade class project here. I honestly, for as much coffee as I drink, I just don't know. Now, is this for a quality control? I mean, are you literally going through handfuls of beans and like this one goes, this one looks like crap, this one
I do as I'm getting the green beans ready to roast. I kind of look through them a little bit and pick out specific ones that'll look like they look a little questionable.
All right,
and then after the roasting process, so it dumps into like a cooler where it's cooling, and I just go through and I pick the beans out that aren't the same color as the other ones, that are lighter, or the ones that are like just burst open, and just
okay.
I pick through it. So each batch I pick through. I make sure everything's good, and that's it. Bag it up.
What kind of time are we talking? Does it take to roast a 50 pound bag? I know you probably don't sit there and do a whole 50 pounds at once, right?
Yeah, no. I typically I'll roast for like an hour.
Okay.
And an hour will produce about 14 bags.
Okay.
And
okay, that's decent. So 14 bags is like a day and a half's worth of coffee for.
Yeah. So I figure and I just have a very small roaster. So once I'm able to fully commit my time to doing this, I can get a bigger size roaster and roast.
And get going. All right. Wow.
So what separates a good roaster from a great roaster?
Are we talking equipment? Are we talking operator?
Yeah, I'm talking both. I mean, it's like, say, assuming, let's see, you and I get our beans from the same place. I'm sure that's a factor.
Yes.
But then as far as that, we have the same beans and let's just presume the same roaster. What would separate a good roaster from a great roaster?
So I would say that anybody can roast coffee, right? You can get a roaster, you can throw coffee in there,
Right.
you can roast it up. Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
I think what separates a good roaster and a great roaster would be somebody who's actually researching and learning everything about those beans and knows exactly when to pull that bean.
Okay.
When, knows the smells of it as it's cooking, as it's roasting. So it'll go through different stages of roasting, or it'll smell like bread at first, and then it'll smell more like it'll start smelling chocolatey, and you get to know those smells and,
Okay.
and the look of the bean. Or
Sounds like a lot of it's going to be trial and error too.
a lot of it is, and the beans I'm roasting now are 100% better than the beans I initially roasted, and we all loved the beans I did before, but everybody said, "Oh, these are even better. These are up there."
And because it's a live product, I'm sure that even everything changes over time, right? So, it's this month's beans are liable to be better than last year's beans from the same place, and vice versa. You're liable to get some in a growing season that are just not as good.
Exactly.
Correct? Okay.
It's all weather dependent, and you may get a bean that this year has some great dark chocolate flavors, and the next year it has those same dark chocolates, but it also has some rich cherry flavors to it.
Just depending on the
weather,
on how it
yeah.
grew, huh? Oh, I'll be damned.
Okay. So what, and I don't know if you know this or not, wild guess or in your opinion, what is, how do I put this? The bean that's basically the lost ark of the covenant. I mean, the ultimate bean you want to get your hands on to roast.
Cope Luwak.
We've had that
I
discussion.
just threw that out there.
We don't let him talk much.
Yeah.
So the Ethiopian beans that's kind of I would say some of the highest quality beans.
Okay.
The coffee itself, coffee trees and stuff, actually originated in that area.
Okay.
So, and then spread out from there. So I think the Ethiopians that's the one you want to get, but for like price, like the most expensive type beans, you're gonna get your Jamaican and your Kona coffees from Hawaii.
Oh, yes.
And you can buy if you buy a pure Kona or pure Jamaican bag, and they only come in like maybe 7-ounce bags,
Oh, yeah.
and you're going to spend $25 for that 7-ounce bag.
Oh, yeah.
So for me to buy the green beans themselves, they're I want to say it's $20 to $30 a pound for the green beans. Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
And where these Colombians are about $5 a pound for the green beans, which they're great. They're a great coffee, but you definitely can taste the quality and the better.
Oh, yeah. That's for sure. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Now, you mentioned Kona. Kona is kind of a misnomer in my opinion on coffees, because you see Kona coffees of the stuff that's commercially sold at your average retailer, whether it be Rayleigh's, whether it be wherever. There's not much Kona in that Kona coffee, correct?
No, if you look at the bag, it'll say like 10% Kona beans, and the rest is just
Beans.
filler.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
I didn't know that.
It's Kona blend
Yeah.
typically.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Kona
that. Years ago, I was given some Kona coffee by a customer of mine when I worked in the bar business, and it was pure Kona coffee that they brought over from the islands, and it was the best coffee I ever had.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So, with very little knowledge, I started looking for Kona coffee, and it was years, literally years, before I realized that the reason I couldn't duplicate the awesomeness of that coffee that I'd originally had is because I was buying crap that was 5 and 10%. And I didn't make that revelation until the first time we went to Hawaii and I was able to get actual 100% Kona coffee again. And and I asked the guy, I'm like, what's the deal with this? And he just started laughing at me. He's all, yeah, because it's all blend and they can sell anything they put the word Kona on. I'm like, shit.
They can mark up the price and be like,
yeah,
it's Kona.
Oh yeah, I was paying big money for shit that I would have been much happier with some other coffee. You know, whether it was a Colombian, whether it was a whatever, for half the price, just because somebody was mixing, 5% Kona beans in their U-Ban, for Christ's sake. I was like, this is terrible.
He took it to U-Ban.
U-Ban.
They even make that anymore?
I
Yes.
think it's still around.
Huh.
Yeah, our green grocer would know.
Yes.
Yeah. But, it was, so it's the fact that I have even evolved to this level of drinking coffee is interesting, because my dad used to make coffee in a saucepan when I was a little kid, and they dumped the grounds when they couldn't get enough water in to make coffee. So that's how I started out with coffee, that, just black coffee that you could stand a fork up in.
Oh, like Navy coffee.
Yeah, it was, it was rough, and Pops with a porcelain coffee cup and 5 sugars, and it was God, it was terrible, but you drink it because you're a little kid, you want to be like Dad. Christ, I think it stunted my growth.
That's how I grew up. Was my dad had his metal can of Folgers in the freezer, and he'd scoop it out every morning and make his swill. And my grandparents had the instant Senka.
Oh, yeah.
Senka.
Oh yeah, I remember
yes.
that.
Every grandparent had Senka.
Hold on, I can date myself right here. You didn't. You knew you were in a nice kitchen in somebody's house if they had the international coffee cans. You remember the little?
Yep.
Oh my
little
God,
rectangle?
yes.
And you had to pry that lid off, with like a quarter or some shit, and and it was super fine, like dust ground. God, that shit was nasty. But they had all kinds of flavors, right?
Cappuccinos. And
Oh
all
yeah.
that.
Oh God.
Oh, where the women in the commercial would sit there sipping the coffee saying, oh, remember that little cafe in Paris? And someone would say, oh, John Luke. Yeah, it was that bad.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I've dated myself.
There we go.
Yeah,
So-
everyone younger than 50 is looking like, the fuck's he talking about? Everyone else 50 and over is going, oh yeah, I remember that. That was funny.
Yeah.
Crap.
Remember that, Tommy? You old fart.
Take it easy. God, gotta watch these guys like a hawk. And you would think I'd be the one that would get this beeped into the E rating. No,
The nice thing is we don't answer to the FCC, so we're good.
yeah, we can say pretty much anything. So,
Like when I was on the radio.
so we can get this online.
Yes.
Now, is it available anywhere over the counter right now?
Not right now. No.
Okay.
Like I said, it's still fairly new. I'm just kind of.
Okay.
I'm not mass producing. Just kind of keeping it small, and
Okay.
a lot of my customers are my coworkers and
Okay.
a couple consistent customers that live by
Right
us.
on.
And
Nice. Now, is there more? I'm sure there is because we live in California, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. Is there more licensing, more? I don't even know the right word.
Regulation.
Is there more regulation, more fees to pay involved in doing retail sales as opposed, going to say the market, Newcastle Produce as an example, and putting your coffee in there. Is there a lot more steps involved to that, or?
there is, and just depending on. So, right now I fall under cottage law.
Mm-hmm.
So there's I can only produce so much per month or so much income per month
Okay.
before I have to go and get higher permits. And actually, because I roast out of the home, there's a lot lower cost, where if I start producing higher amounts and my income becomes higher, then I have to actually have a building, a commercial building where I'm.
So when you get to that point, you'd have to be in a commercial kitchen, just like a food truck.
Yes.
Oh, what a pain in the ass. Okay. I assumed that was probably how it worked, but man, so that makes it hard to get to that, or cost prohibitive, I should say, to get to that next level, then, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay.
But like I said, right now for the next 3 years, I have my current job I'm at, and so this is just the production is good for me right now.
Okay.
It's manageable. Where I still have, I go to work. I can do my coffee, and I still have time to be with family.
Okay. Now you're on roaster number 2. You started out with a tiny one and then graduated up to a bigger one.
I did. Yeah.
Okay. How significant is the investment to go from roaster number 2 to roaster number 3 when it's time to take this to a bigger operation?
Well, let's start with roaster 1 was probably about $400 for that. Roaster number 2, I spent almost $5,000 on.
Ooh.
Okay.
And so the next step up, I'm probably looking at $10,000.
Okay. That's not as big. Okay, it was a bigger jump from 1 to 2 than I expected.
Yeah, bigger from 1 to 2.
But not as big a jump from 2 to 3 as I expected. So
Yeah.
I guess that's a good thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And really, it depends on the roaster you're buying. And there's a roaster company in San Francisco, and they make high quality roasters. And the roaster that I have, that size for them is probably a $12,000 roaster.
Okay.
But they're an American-made, high-quality product. So.
And to a certain degree, I'm assuming that the equipment has an effect on the end product too. Correct?
It does. I mean, there's a lot of it's all pretty much the same. It's a roaster, band, and fire.
Yeah.
I mean, but some do it better than others, and they're more even than others.
Okay. No, that makes sense. 100%.
Yeah, it does. I like that.
Oh.
So where do you envision taking this? Are you looking for commercial, or you just want to stay as like a boutique coffee house?
I don't see it going commercial, but if it did, I'm not opposed to that. But I kind of want to keep it where it's small, where it's just me and maybe another employee or two, and we're just keeping it small, keeping it local, And I do ship throughout the U.S. too, so it's.
All right.
About that.
Nice.
Well, I know we got a lot of listeners across the country, so that'll be good.
Across the world, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, but
One particular country may not be listening to us for much longer.
Oh, take it easy. Take it easy. Don't get all political on us. Yeah, the nice thing about doing a medium like this is, we're not huge by any stretch of the imagination, but for podcasts,
You sure about that?
we're in the top 10% now on
Yeah.
podcasts, just because of the number of downloads we have. So yeah, there's some people out there, in other areas that they're into boutique cigars. So this would fall into a boutique product. If it's something they can't get in their local area, there's going to be a certain percentage of the listeners that are going to want to try that. I'm sure. I know we do it on stuff
All the time.
We come across all the time. It's like, oh, we can't get that. Well, now we want it.
Yeah.
So
And
cool.
I mean, realistically, they should, because let's face it. If you're drinking this stuff every day, Jamie, I know you're going to listen to this podcast, so make sure your wife listens to this part. If you're going to drink this stuff every day, spend the money and get good,
get
high
some
quality
good coffee. And the price points. Number one, what size bag do we have sitting out in front of us?
These are 12-ounce bags.
12-ounce bags, okay. And what's that go for on the website?
They're $14.99 on the website. We do offer a 10% discount for all first responders and for military and veterans. So that works out to roughly $13 a bag for them.
Okay, that's right there with what you're paying for bags of stuff out of the grocery
For
store.
mediocre.
Yeah, for mediocre. So yeah, step up your game coffee wise, guys, and pick up some Yard Dog and give it a try. I've had, like I said, virtually everything that he's roasted, and I enjoy all of them. So
The one that I liked, and it's one you gave us last year, I think it was the Mexican.
yes,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
one was really good.
yes,
Yeah, that was one of our staples for a while. I got to get some more of those in. The Costa Rican and the Colombian is kind of what I'm on right now, but I'm going to go back to the Mexican because a lot of people have been asking about it and wanting it back. So,
and I was surprised because when your wife brought that up to my shop, she says this is going to be a little different. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And it kind of sat for a little bit. I didn't, because I had probably 5 different bags of beans open in my freezer. And so when I brought that one home, she's like, you're not opening another bag. We're going to go through some of these. I'm like, okay. So we did. And it was probably at least a month before we ground any of those Mexican beans. And I didn't know she'd ground them. And she goes, because we have a Keurig at the house too. And she goes, you want a pod? Or I'm like, nah, it's, do you have anything ground up? She goes, yeah, I do. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't even ask. And she made some, and I'm like, what is this? Because I knew it wasn't any of the beans, any of the stuff that we had been drinking over the last few weeks. And she's like, well, that's that new one you brought the other day. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, no, that was really that. And I don't even know how really to describe what's different about it. It's just different. And it's a great coffee. That's what we had camping when we were all up at
Memorial Weekend last week?
Memorial Weekend last year.
Oh,
Deer
yeah.
Camp, too. And once people tried it, you'd see them come back, and the pot would be almost empty. Relax, we'll make another one. But yeah, that one went over huge. Even with people that don't typically drink a lot of coffee, they were like, "Hey, what is this?" So yeah, definitely let me know when you got some more of those, and I'll push that out to some friends that were asking about it, because I had forgotten about that.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I wouldn't have owned a coffee grinder if it wasn't for him. He goes, here, you need to try the Yard Dog. Put this out. You need to try this. Okay, Amazon coffee grinder buy.
Yeah,
and you can get a decent coffee grinder for $15-$20.
Oh yeah, I have my little 1999 coffee grinder. When I got your beans, I went ahead and got it out of retirement from the top shelf. I was like, oh yeah, I do have a coffee grinder. Grinded it up, and it's something about freshly grinded beans.
Oh,
It's like,
man,
the flavor.
that puts out an aroma that is just different than anything else, man. That's amazing. And it's funny, even the grounds, when you're done, my wife composts stuff at the house, and one of the nastiest things that you can have in the little bucket there, the little canister or whatever the hell you call it by the sink that you throw stuff in, is if you leave coffee grounds in there too long, and they start, oh man, the smell that puts out is horrible, but not with fresher beans. I haven't noticed that, that there's an issue. It seems to break down faster. Just, it makes you wonder what they're putting in some of those coffees that that does that.
Well, that's always the wonder, is what's the preservatives?
Yeah.
What's in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't really know. I mean, you're not really required to put ingredients on there except that it's coffee.
Yeah.
And a lot of them they add the flavorings to them, the hazelnuts and your caramels, and that's to cover up the bad beans. So
Yeah.
which I have no problem.
And
nothing
that's
against those.
how you, if you're getting a flavored coffee, you pretty much understand that that's the bottom grade of the bean, correct?
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Well, then you've got, so in prepping for Zach to come on, I was looking at a few different blogs and people discussing coffee pairing with cigars. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting because much like the three of us, you prefer a darker cigar with your coffee or a stronger cigar. Larry and I don't in the morning. But not really being into straight espresso myself, they were talking about how particularly an LFD or a triple Maduro works with an espresso.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm like, huh, okay.
Well, and I'm probably the only one of the three of us that will drink coffee at any time of the day or night.
You're not the only one, no.
No, you're not.
Okay, well, maybe. And that goes back to how many years I was on Graveyard. I enjoy coffee, not necessarily for the caffeine part of it, just for the, like you were saying earlier, Zach, for the flavor of coffee. I mean, that's more important to me than anything else. And a good espresso, or a good, even the Cuban coffees that Blaine used to make in here, which are a little sweeter than I like, but a good, strong espresso with a Christoph Triple Maduro, ride the evening out with that, and you're going to get a good night's sleep because it's going to put you on your ass.
Well, I don't know about you. Well, you probably too, but given that I drink a considerable amount of it during the day, and level of convenience, unfortunately, it's a commercialized brand that's logos blue or green and white. But the caffeine doesn't bother me anymore.
No.
I can drink coffee 5 minutes before bedtime and sleep just fine.
Well, I've got some Brazilian coffee, and I will make some of that for you guys.
Awesome.
The caffeine content in that is ridiculous.
Off the chart?
It's off the chart. And I don't know why. It's not. Typically, the lighter you roast the coffee, the more caffeine, typically. But with this bean, I can roast it the same way as I do this Colombian, and you'll be jittery. You'll be shaking.
Challenge accepted.
I'll have to make some of that and bring it in for you.
There we go. Yeah, I like it.
Oh, yeah.
I made some at work, and we were all like, okay, let's get up. No sitting down. We didn't sit down. We just kept moving, kept going.
You realize when my boss hears this, he's probably going to be calling you going, hey, I need to put this in my break room.
We can do it. We can do that.
Hey, you know, so you got a checkbook?
Of course we do.
There we go.
I'm the bookkeeper. I got petty cash, man.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, so I'll get you some of that, and you can let me know what you think.
Good deal.
Nice.
So I asked you before we set up if you smoke cigars, and your comment was about one every 2 years.
About one every 2 years, and that's typically like with my brothers, and
okay,
we kind of get together. And
so we're gonna slowly drag you into this vice, into this lifestyle. You understand that, right?
Sounds good.
Okay, because along with this is kind of a twofold for having Zach on here. You're also helping sponsor what's going to become an annual monthly event, correct?
Yeah. So it was third Thursdays. Now it's going to be every third Tuesdays. It'll be so law enforcement get together with it's like cigars and whiskey, and just a time where they can get together and just unwind and relax and just let some of the stresses out from the
talk
day.
shop or whatever you want to do.
Just get it out.
And I want to emphasize this is an invitation only event.
Yes.
So if you're in our area, in the Northern California area, and you are in the law enforcement field, and you think, even if you don't smoke cigars, if you think you'd like to, see what we're talking about, the podcast Beyond the Humidor is providing the cigars for that event, and we're going to be at least one of us will be there, on the monthly basis to cut and light and explain to novice smokers what they're getting themselves into and what they got going. But if you're listening to this or you hear something about it through a friend and you're interested, please reach out to either one of us at the podcast or Zach through Yard Dog Coffee, and we can point you in the direction how to get there, how to get invited, and we'd love to see more of the law enforcement community coming out and seeing what all of us do.
Yeah.
Your operation, our operation. It's been a benefit to the to Tobacco Republic here, because I made sure on that first event that I let the officers know, and Ron, the owner here, I don't know which one of the CHP gentlemen who used to come in here before, but had kind of gotten away from it. He's been in and gotten picked up a few more cigars since that event, and that was just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's definitely it definitely had a positive impact. I think we enjoyed that, and now that we're doing it on Tuesdays, you're off.
Yeah, now I'll be
so
off.
You're able to
Nice.
hang out. Yeah, good deal. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, so am I.
We may even. You're going to be able to make the next one too, Greg.
What do you say there,
15th?
Gilligan?
Anytime.
Yeah. All right. What do you say there, Gilligan? Pilot the boat, Skipper. Pilot the boat.
What the hell was that?
I'm the second world's worst whistler. Don't let Pat know because I ain't coming on his program for that.
Oh wow.
Look, I don't have the Gilligan theme queued up on a button here, okay?
Well, whose fault is that?
Yours.
How's it mine? You're the producer.
Because you didn't tell me ahead of time.
You got to start thinking outside the box, man.
Circling back. I hate outside the box. He hates circling back.
I hate both of you. What's the point?
Huh? You do a good job of hiding it.
Some days. Give us a minute.
What was that last episode I said about smart friends?
Yeah. Oh God. So we got to come up with a couple other things to do as an outside event that we can do coffee and cigars with, because that's just a good pairing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna have to brainstorm over the next next couple of months. Now that it's getting warmer too.
Yes.
Maybe even there's a recipe that I've been following on. Two of the three of us now have Blackstone.
Yes.
You have a Blackstone
have a
flat
Blackstone,
top, right?
yep, yes.
Yeah, I remember seeing pictures on Facebook about that. So I have a flat top like yours, and then we bought the tailgater for camping, which is a small version of the flat top, and then it has the barbecue over the other burner. And when we were camping 3 weeks ago, Scott saw that for the first time.
Second time.
Second,
actually.
now he's bought one and done away with his camping barbecue setup.
Yeah.
And Gregory over there, we got him on the hook for getting something.
I'm looking into something.
By the way, I found the one. It's a smaller version. Instead of the big 36 or 38 inch, 42 inch, it's a 28 inch.
I like that.
So that might work.
Because my
for you.
trailer is considerably smaller than yours.
So
Yeah.
what I'm thinking, I saw a recipe and I saw it on my phone. So it's hard to pay attention, hard to read because it's stuff's so small. But it's a coffee ground wrapped brisket. So they do the rub on it with, and now this is 100% coffee though. I've seen some where you put a little bit of coffee in your dry rub. This is entirely dry rubbed. It's packed with coffee. And it's not fine ground. It's almost like
Coarse
chip
ground
and
pepper?
seal, for lack of a better term. It's really, really rough. And the guy packs the crap out of it.
Interesting.
And I'm like, I got to try that.
Okay, have you seen how much briskets are now? It's sad. I was at Costco the other day, and about I think it was like maybe a 12 or 13 pounder, $98. Wow. I used to be able to get that for about 70.
That's all right. I just I gassed the truck up this morning because the little light was on, and I'm like, I better not try this. The pump where what's typically easy for me to go in and get gas.
Yeah.
The pump shuts off at $74 without you putting your card back in again. $74 this morning was 14 and a half gallons of gas.
Yeah, that was me yesterday.
That's about right.
$80 for a full tank.
Some of to say that some of our extracurricular activities are not going to be impacted. I don't want to say stop because we all figure out a way to spend money on the vices that we
Absolutely.
enjoy, but it's going to be impacted by the inflation of certain items over the next period of time. That's for sure. But no, I definitely want to try this coffee wrap.
I'm intrigued.
Try that too.
Because I think that's going to be amazing.
Slap that boy on the Traeger.
That's what I was thinking. Throw it on the smoker.
Yeah. But if we get Greg here into the Blackstone, then we could all come up. Everybody bring their Blackstone stuff up to the house, and we could do maybe a time lapse type live show where we're all cooking.
I've got it.
Smoking and drinking.
I've got it.
You have my attention.
An Iron Chef competition.
Ooh.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So which one would you be there?
I'm the blackened chef, so whatever you guys can choose, whatever you want to be. I'll have the cape, the crown.
Oh, Christ.
You laugh.
Hey,
The James Brown of the kitchen.
That's right. I kneel down. My
Did
wife
I hit the right reference?
close enough.
Okay.
Put the cape on as I kneel down. There's pictures of that somewhere, by the way.
Yeah.
Sue, I know you listen. Send them to me. They'll magically appear on the cartel website.
My wife would never do that to me.
Yes, she would.
No, she wouldn't.
She made you suffer a dog stroller.
No,
Keep
no.
trying.
I'm not suffering a dog stroller. I don't touch the motherfucker. I made that clear when she bought it. I said, nope, not messing with it.
Yeah, it was funny that the weekend we went down to Half Moon Bay was they just gotten this dog. It's a cute little dog, but Jesus, they just gotten this dog stroller. He would barely get it out of the under compartment of their motorhome. She must have told him like 4 times, Scott, I need you to get the dog stroller out and set it up. And you just see him standing there, just grinding his teeth. He didn't even want to pull it out from under and set it up because my wife right there with a camera, like I'm gonna get him with that dog stroller. I'm like, man, you better back off. Scott's
Hey,
on his
she had
last
instructions, okay?
nerve. Well,
I tried to hide it when it got delivered. She said, it shows the dog stroller's here. Where is it? I don't know. She started looking around.
Would you have it hidden behind the kayaks in the side yard? What'd you do?
I just threw it in the closet.
Pop sold you out, huh? He's like,
Probably.
over there. Oh, well.
How is Pop handling that little rugrat of a dog?
Oh, it's hilarious. I think Harley's a little skittish because, he has this cane, so she doesn't quite know what to make of that. Although every now and then she'll kind of stick her head into his room. He'll come back from the bathroom and say, I didn't even see you there. Then she goes, scurrying out to us. They'll get there.
My money's on Pop. So how many hours a week are we putting into roasting coffee right now?
Not as many hours as somebody would like me to.
Oh.
But I try to at least do a couple hours a week, and just to have enough supply where if people want some, and I'm not overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Because you have a full 40-hour plus on your regular gig, right?
I do, but I only work, so I work 3 days a week.
Okay.
I work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I work an 8-hour shift on Tuesdays, and then I work 16-hour shifts on Wednesday and Thursday.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man.
And then I'm off Friday through Monday.
So, okay, realistically, how long have you been doing that shift?
Actually, I just recently started doing that.
Okay. How shitty is your Friday after 2 16-hour shifts?
Friday
Is that a rough day? I mean, is it?
Friday can be a rough day. Between Wednesday and Thursday, I come home and I get about 4 hours sleep. Then I'm up at 3:30, and I'm driving back down to work. Oh, God. So I'm getting 4 hours sleep in between on those 16-hour shift days. So Friday can be a little rough, but I just push through it and I drink some coffee and
Yeah, that
Drink,
explains
you
the
mean
coffee
IV?
thing right there.
I just IV it up and
Oof.
Man,
God bless you, sir. After my 8-hour day, I'm done.
yeah, and it's such a rough day for you.
It is. It is.
Retail.
Then I drive up and bug Larry while he's still working.
Yeah, if you can call what I do work, but you know,
Hey, I bring you liquor.
that's true. Yeah, I got a delivery of liquor yesterday, Herr Robinson.
That's nice. That's really nice. It's very nice of you, someone to actually take the time out of their busy schedule to, acquire the liquor and then drive it all the way out to
back up a minute.
Newcastle to deliver to you. That's a very wonderful thing. That sounds like a friend to me.
I would say you're offending your Uber driver there, Scott.
That's true. You did help me out. You did help me out. So I'm gonna give you a pass on this one.
Wait a minute. What are we talking about?
The Merc had to go in the shop, so I catered him back and forth.
I think the word you're looking for is chauffeur. I don't blame you. I blame
sit
the
in the
public
back
school
seat?
system.
I didn't
Tell me
show-
you sat in the back seat.
He can't sit in my back seat. There's
That's
too much
true.
crap in it.
Nope, I was sitting with the duck.
Okay. All right. So,
Yeah,
what other coffee questions we have for this gentleman?
About what the honey process is for the Mexican beans, because people always think that means it's out of
Out
county.
of county,
I don't know.
country. No.
No, I think she's talking about with those
yeah.
Mexican beans. So they're honey processed.
Okay.
Which you think honey, you're like, oh, they add honey to it, and it just has to do with the actual drying process of the green beans.
Okay.
So most beans are, once they come off the tree, they clean the fruit off of them and they're washed down, and then they're set out to dry, and that's the process. The honey processing is they're leaving that fruit on there, and then they're laying that out to completely dry up.
And then they take that
So
off.
all the sugars from the fruit go back into the bean.
So that's the
itself.
difference in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going to get a lot more sweetness and a lot of very smooth drinking coffee.
Now I'm assuming because this is a different process, they don't do this to a lot of beans. Is this a harder bean to get? Or
It's not harder, but there's not as many out there. So price wise, they're all about the same. But the washed is the standard. That's what
Okay.
everybody- And so you could take this Colombian, and it could be the honey processed and just the washed, and you would totally taste the difference, and you would think that
completely
you
change the
would think they're
flavor
two different
of
beans.
whatever
Yeah.
bean
Exactly.
you're talking about, just based on that process.
Yes,
Okay, that's good information.
Yeah, it is.
but that's not going to be. You're not going to see that on the bag of like your typical coffee you
Okay.
buy in the store.
Right.
But there's a lot of really good small roasters in this area, and they'll put that on their bags if that's what it is. And
Okay,
Okay.
so that if we see that on a bag, that's what that means.
yeah, give it a try, and
All right, that's
Okay.
good information to have.
Whereas we're coming to the close of the show, how is your cigar doing on that ending?
Oh,
Are you-
dude, the Oliva makes a great product.
I agree.
And if I know that I want a lighter cigar, I will steer towards an Oliva or a Rocky Patel. They're one of their Edge products because they're always a quality product, and in my opinion, the Robustos for Oliva, you get a really consistent flavor and burn from beginning to end. There's not a lot of change to it. It's just really light, really, really crisp flavor that will enhance something like the coffee you're drinking. It's super smooth and from start to finish, and I just really enjoy this one.
Okay. I'd say with this Connecticut, very well constructed, being that it is a Churchill, it's a little longer. So, you start worrying about the last portion getting heated up because you've been smoking it all that time, but it's been smoking pretty evenly. The taste is pretty consistent. It's a typical Connecticut. The taste I'm getting, that sharpness that I got at the beginning, It might be a matter of these might be a little young. They need to age for a little bit. But as I'm getting close to the end, I'm getting like toast, actually, with this taste, which is just fine because it's kind of a neutral flavor where I can enjoy my rum and coffee and
Scotch.
get that scotch. Thank you.
Rum soaked scotch.
Yes, rum soaked scotch. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm smoking the one that I smoked the other day, and there's 5 different ones in there, 6 of them,
I have 5. I think there's 6. Yeah.
and I picked the predominantly the lightest one, and I'm interested to try the others because it's smooth, it's consistent. I didn't get the sharpness, but I'm smoking a different cigar than you. But creamy, buttery. It really does. Its construction is great, and I would expect quality, especially when it's a Davidoff distribution. I would
Right.
expect it to be a cigar of quality because they don't generally do crap.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those that if you get the chance to get your hands on a Nat Sherman, the brand has been absorbed because Nat Sherman itself is gone. And that was a recent development from a couple of years ago. But,
Okay.
get your hands on one, give it a try. I hear good reviews from everybody.
I've smoked a couple of those now, and I'm going to have to go with your statement that it might be a little young. I'd be interested to get 2 or 3 out of the. I've smoked two of the blends. I'd be interested to get 2 or 3 of them, throw them in the back of the humidor,
And forget about them for a
and
while?
pull them out in a
Yeah.
year or so and see. Because I think they're going to mellow right out.
Yeah.
Because I noticed on the one that a little bitey at the front.
That's what I got.
But once you heated it up, and pulled some smoke through it, it kind of leveled it out towards the middle and the end. So, and that usually has to do with the age of the cigar.
It does. And one of the things that, Scott, you mentioned, getting the overheating at the end of particularly a long cigar like a Churchill or a double Corona. If years back when Phil Ziggy was here, who does Indian motorcycle cigars or Indian head cigars, whatever the name of the company is, if you blow back through the cigar periodically, it pushes the heat forward where it should be and keeps it from the back end, so you don't get the
Right.
tar and the overheating back there. So just a little top tip.
Thank you. And hate to tell you this, I gave you a compliment at the early part of the show. I'm going to give you a criticism now. You failed us because something's missing from As I Smoke This Cigar. I'm going to see if you get it. Let's give him 5 seconds.
What, this?
It is a Davidoff product, don't you know? Why did you stop?
Because it's not a Davidoff proper. It's a Nat Sherman.
Well, yeah, but distributed by Davidoff, so
Not the same.
You got the same music in a kazoo.
I can find it.
There we go.
slightly lower grade,
Yeah.
right?
Pretty sure we're not going to get sponsored by Davidoff or Nat Sherman or either one after that comment. But, hey,
You never know.
you never
Didn't
know.
say it was bad. It's all in fun. We didn't say like the thing was like horrible.
Yeah.
Well, that joke for us is old because it goes back to the Grey Poupon commercials of the 90s. Maybe it was the 80s. I don't remember.
You saw it on the History Channel.
He did.
I'm not that young.
There we go.
Not like Camera Monkey over there.
Well, I think this was a productive endeavor. We got some great coffee and
Yes.
some knowledge about coffee that even as a longtime coffee drinker, I did not possess. So, Zach, we appreciate you coming on. We've
Yeah,
been
thanks for
trying
being on.
We've been trying to do this for a minute.
We have
and,
been, we have been.
Scheduling and, your secretary, it's kind of hard to deal with at some
She
point.
is sometimes.
So,
Must be flinching.
yeah, it's just sometimes
Incoming.
you got to go right to the source. So I'll bypass the the stop gaps that are put in place to prevent you from. For those of you that don't watch the video, I was just flipped off by our studio audience.
That's okay. They can't see her anyway.
Yeah, so
I think in the corporate world we call that a gatekeeper.
gatekeeper.
That's a nice
that's
word.
What that is.
See,
yeah.
that's nice.
That's a nice way of saying it.
See,
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for having me. Again, if you're go to our website, and if you are a first responder, military, active duty, or veteran, when you go to checkout on the coupon code, if you put Heroes10, you'll get a 10% discount. Also, with every month, we donate a portion of our proceeds to a veteran charity or a first responder charity. And that link is also on my website too. So if you would like to donate yourself to those, you can just click donate. It'll take you to the page that we're sponsoring for that month, and you can just donate right there.
Outstanding.
That's fantastic.
And if you got a product coming out, something new, or you got an event you want to talk about, just reach out to us, man. If it's not something we can set you up and actually physically get you in a chair and on a mic to talk about, we're happy to put that information out there.
Yeah, we'll be putting you on the website as well.
Yep.
If you've got a logo,
I got it. I'll send it over.
Perfect. Send it over, and Greg can get it onto the website as a cartel partner.
Yeah, I got a great sticker guy. He makes them.
He does, doesn't he?
I do.
I do all right.
Uh-huh.
I'm all right. All right, we ready to wind this thing up?
Yeah, I think so. There's my music. Well, obviously the scotch glass is empty and my cigar's down to the nub, so I think it's about that time. Once again, I want to thank our guest Zach from Yard Dog Coffee, and on behalf of Greg, Larry, and myself, thank you for listening. Check us out at LumisCigarCartel.com. Like and share us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Don't be a stranger. Drop us a line and let us know you guys are out there. I'm Scott Robinson, and from all of us here at Beyond the Humidor, we look forward to chatting with you on the next episode. But until then, take care, stay safe and healthy, and good smoke, good drink, and good life.